forkers.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. It's been a while.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Gender Forking, a Twilight Saga podcast.
We've rebranded a little bit since the last time you've heard us. I don't think we explained that in our bonus content. Maybe we did.
I don't remember at all. I don't think that we did.
I don't think we did. We've rebranded. We used to be called Gender Forking, a Life and Death podcast. That was super accurate for what we used to do. But now we're kind of expanding to focus on the Twilight universe, if you will.
This is a podcast about the Twilight Saga. That's what you're getting.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm Sam and that's Lori, and we like to use our degrees in gender studies to talk about Twilight.
Yeah. Now between the three of us.
Between
the two of us, we have 3.5 gender studies degrees.
Yeah. Soon to be 4.
Soon to be 4. Kill me. Kill me before I have to finish this degree, please.
It's all worth it.
Was the tassel worth the hassle?
We talked about this on the last
podcast
episode.
Yeah.
The strife continues.
I don't know why I do this to myself.
It's okay. I mean, now, like, when people say, oh, that's such an interesting degree, like, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, well, I'm going to make a podcast about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Just you have an answer.
Yeah. Just going to move through my life talking only about Twilight and feminist theory.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what this podcast is about. Welcome if it's your first time. If it's not your first time, thank you so much for continuing to listen. That's really great of you, and also hilarious. And hilarious that you choose to stick around.
Hilarious. And if you're friends with us and you're still listening, doubly thank you.
Yeah.
Because you probably get a double dose of us.
Yeah.
We're focusing more on other pieces of work within the Twilight universe. We're going to start with Twilight, now that we've done Life and Death. Maybe we'll have some new, fun, exciting things to say about Twilight. It's also been quite a while since either of us has read Twilight.
When did you last read it?
I don't remember.
Oh, this will be great.
It was before you last read it.
Okay. I read it 2 years ago.
It's been over 2 years for me.
Okay.
I have seen the movie. I literally could not even estimate anymore how many times I've seen it. It's gotta be in the 30s. Mm-hmm. And that's just within, like...
Only in the 30s?
Yeah. It's probably over that. It's just... And then that's just within, like, the last, like, probably 2 or 3 years. Who knows how much I watched it when I was younger.
Yeah. True.
I don't know.
So, like, roughly over the last 10 years, you've seen Twilight,
upwards
the film,
of, like...
1,000,000 times.
Yeah, about that, yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. But, back into the source material we go. We kind of, like, we went back and forth between Twilight and Life and Death when we were doing Life and Death last season.
Yeah.
Just to, like, cross-reference different moments that we couldn't remember if they were there or, like, if it was different or not, because we were comparing Life and Death, which is Stephanie Meyer's quote-unquote gender-swapped version of Twilight, with the original, to kind of analyze that for themes of gender and, like, literally whatever came up. Sometimes it would, like, surprise me, like, there were parts that I was like, I don't remember this being in Twilight, and then it was. And then there were parts of Life and Death that I was like, oh, I love this is so beautiful, and it's like, it's because it's Twilight, it's like literally word for word Twilight.
Yeah. Should we talk about ourselves?
Sure.
For people that are listening first?
Yeah.
For the first time? You go ahead.
I was gonna say, you go ahead. Or you do, or I can talk about you.
Oh my god, we do this every time.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. Last time we started the podcast, I said, I'm Sam, and you said, no, you're not.
We could convince a whole audience of people that we are each other. They wouldn't know.
You're right. Only our friends would know, and probably not
they don't
even.
know. No one has to know.
I don't think our friends could probably distinguish our voices on the air.
I hope not.
I hope that they're hopelessly confused.
Yeah, that's what I hope for my friends. So do you want to do yourself or do you want to do me?
I don't care.
Great, helpful.
Okay, I'm Lori.
Okay.
I live in sunny San Diego, California. And I am a Pisces, a Twilight fan. I'm in grad school. I like to cook.
Yeah.
What else? What else important is there?
You have a cat.
I have a cat. I have a cat named Mr. Darcy.
You just got a nose piercing.
Just got a nose piercing. I go to therapy now, so if you can tell that I'm, like, doing so much better than in season 1, like, that's why. So if you can just tell that from listening, I go to therapy now. And I'm on meds. So maybe that'll bring a fun, fresh, new dynamic to our podcast.
I can't wait till we do New Moon and we talk about mental health all the time.
Kill me.
I'm Sam. I'm an Aries, and I'm finishing grad school in gender studies. I'll be done in a couple weeks. I'll be done probably by the time I'll probably be done before this podcast comes out, actually. So
that's horrifying.
Send me a message on Instagram at SamKCS. Say congratulations for being a master of gender.
Wait, I didn't get to drop my Instagram.
Go ahead.
At LC Lofton.
Yeah, I'm from Maine. That's where we are now, recording this podcast. Per usual, we're recording it in my parents' basement. It's just tradition.
Yeah. We thought about recording it somewhere else, and then I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. I think
personally.
It would upset the fans. It would break continuity.
Yeah. Also, like, there's another podcast that records in the location that we were thinking of recording in, and I didn't really want to absorb
any of
that energy. Not because it's bad energy, it's just, like, boy energy.
Yeah.
Like, cis boy energy.
Can't taint the podcast. Yeah, we're in Maine. I was just in England for a year. Mm-hmm. We were apart for a while. That's why there was no podcasts.
Yeah.
I have a cat, too. His name is Sirius Black.
Literary cat names.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had a nose piercing.
I've had a nose piercing for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Just two gals with nose piercings. I was going to say that we were apart for some time and couldn't do our podcast, and we're not really together now for any long amount of times.
Yeah.
But not enough time to record a whole season of gender forking, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And what you gotta do is what you want to do. And what you want to do is record your Twilight podcast.
I'm in Maine on, by fluke, because of a death in the family. So, shout out to my great aunt. May she rest in peace. She'd be very proud. And so this is an unexpected mid-year trip to Maine for me. Mm-hmm. I'll leave an iTunes review if you want Sam to come visit California next time. Bring the snowball mic. And then I always come to Maine for the holidays. I've done it once, so it's a tradition now. And so I'll be in town again in the wintertime, but we won't be able to regularly record our podcast until after May 2020 because that's my projected graduation date.
Yeah. But then after that, it's like hard hitting you with podcasts left and right. You're like diving, swerving to miss vampire baseballs coming at you.
Here it comes. The thunderstorm of vampire baseball is on its way.
Today's like a perfect day for us to start re-recording this podcast. It is a overcast rainy day here in Maine. We're like in the woods. My parents' house is like in a beautiful secluded spot in the woods.
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's also Edward and Bella's wedding anniversary. I think it's 14 years.
Wow. Oh my god.
14 years. Yeah. So happy.
14 years since Breaking Dawn?
Since, I think it's like 2006 or something. No, not 2006. No, maybe it is. I just saw it on Tumblr. I don't know.
Oh, I guess maybe like the years that the book it was set in versus released.
Yeah, when did Breaking Dawn come out?
2010.
I feel like that's when the movie came out. Although the oh god, fact check number 1.
Here we go.
It came out in 2008.
Holy shit.
Is that 14 years ago?
No.
It
was 11 years ago.
That was 11 years ago. But I think maybe from the timeline that Twilight came out.
Right.
Maybe it's 14?
I don't know. Well...
You know what? Who cares?
They've been married for a long time, and Renesmee's probably grown up by now and, married to Jacob, allegedly. I really hate thinking about that, actually. I wish I didn't... wish that didn't happen. Should we do the forecast?
Oh yeah, we'll do the Forkscast.
It is...
Which is the forecast in Forks, Washington.
Yes. It is 77 degrees and mostly cloudy with a low of 56, and it looks like it's about to be like that all week. So a relatively okay time to be a vampire in Forks.
Mm-hmm. School hasn't started yet, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Right, they get to go into hiding for the summer.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they actually probably play it off like they're going on, like, mission trips, or, like...
Oh my god.
They're doing, like, fucking, like, family, like, charity events together, or, like, they're volunteering around the world.
They're backpacking.
They're backpacking through Europe.
They're
I feel like they wouldn't
cousins.
flaunt their wealth necessarily like that.
Well, they drive those fucking cars around.
Maybe they, like... I feel like they would totally, like, be... Because the image that the town has of them, even though, like, despite the cars, like, Charlie is, like, so convinced that they're just, like, the most giving, wonderful people.
Yeah. And Charlie's kind of, like, stubborn and, like, set in his ways. And, like, if he can believe that...
They must be doing something.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like they talk about, like, maybe, like, going and... doing a ton of community service during the summer. Like, I feel like that's, like, kind of on brand.
I hope that they do.
Yeah.
Because, like, what else are they gonna do?
Right. They probably, like, aren't actually doing it. They probably just, like, talk about doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they do it. They donate a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Probably. I hope so.
Do they? I don't know.
I would hope.
They never talk about the money.
They really don't talk about the money, and it's like, this is why. This is why... I just have a really hard time believing that, like, Bella would be able to comfortably be in that relationship. Like, she, like, marries up in class so much.
So much.
And they, like, don't really talk about, like, her adjusting to that.
Mm-hmm.
They only talk about it in, like, terms of her clumsiness, and, like, she's uncomfortable with the gifts that they give her, but she doesn't talk about, like... I don't know, I'm thinking of other things that come up.
We should read it for class.
This is a class-focused podcast. It's a gender-focused podcast, but gender and class are the same thing. Just kidding. That was a fun joke.
Yeah. LOL. It's we're going to talk intersectionally about all the things that come up, because there's definitely a lot about... not only gender and class, but also sexuality and race. Definitely race. There's a lot about race in here.
There's going to be more about race in New Moon.
New Moon. Yeah. A lot of that stuff with the Quileutes is very interesting, Stephanie. I think I saw some, like, fake... Not, like, fake, but, like, like, I don't know, who does, like, what financial business magazine, like, Forbes or something does, like, richest fictional characters, and, like, Edward Cullen is up there.
Oh, wow.
I saw it was like a comparison between, like, I think it was a comparison between Edward Cullen and Batman.
That's funny.
Like, similarities between Robert Pattinson's characters, because he's going to play Batman.
That's great news.
Yeah.
I'm really thrilled about that.
Me too.
People think that he won't do well.
He's going to do amazing.
He's going to do really well. Have you ever seen him?
Yeah.
He's, like, effortlessly broody.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like... incredible. Like, he's gonna do really, really well.
Yeah. It's perfect. Also, but it is, like, really hilarious, like, how similar those roles kind of are.
Yeah, they really are. People think that it's such a, like, a stretch.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's like, sorry, like...
You're just being sexist after all these years.
Every time I think about Batman, like, the first Batman that pops into my head is, like, Joe Walker Batman from... Team Star Kids, Holy Musical Batman, and I think Robert Pattinson would do, like, a great job at that one, too. Mm-hmm. Like, emotional wreck Batman just wants a friend.
Yeah. Yep. Really rich, dead parents.
Yeah.
Like, secluded.
Mm-hmm. Damned. He doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, and, like, bats are, like, vampires and bats. And, like, yeah. It's all right there.
It's all there.
Yeah. It writes itself. Edward Cullen is Batman.
You heard it here first.
We should, like, talk a little bit about our relationships to Twilight.
Yeah. I started reading Twilight when I was in middle school. For context, I am 23. I recently told someone I was 21 and cut 2 years off my life somehow because I think I stopped aging then.
Yeah.
I stopped keeping track.
Yeah, you stopped counting after, like, you're allowed to do everything legally.
Right. Yeah. Except rent a car, which, like, I really, truly don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I started reading it at the recommendation of my 6th grade English teacher or reading teacher or language arts teacher. I read through them all. I only had to wait for... I don't know if I had to wait for Breaking Dawn to be released. I think I did.
Yeah, I think you read them before me.
I did. I remember having to because I remember, like, reading, like, some speculation on, like, their wedding and, like, how explicit it was gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, it not being explicit.
You mean the sex?
Yeah, the sex. Yeah. Right. Like, the sex. Yeah. I remember reading, like, one of those books, like, you know when, like, Harry Potter came out?
Yeah, like, what will happen in Harry Potter.
It was, like, an equivalent of that.
Yeah.
For Twilight, and I was reading it, and they were like, oh, like, are they gonna fuck on the, like, in the honeymoon? Like, is that gonna be a thing? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, is she gonna become a vampire? Like, all of these things were, like, things that you don't know at the end of Eclipse.
Yeah.
And, which I think sometimes they can take for granted, but I remember having to wait, and then being like, I was so young, I was probably, like...
2.
No. I was, like, 11 or 12? When they came out, 12, when Breaking Dawn came out.
Yeah.
Because it was 2008, I thought, like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so explicit, I'm reading pornography. And then I, like, read it, and I was like, I've been cheated.
Yeah.
And I feel like I started looking for fanfiction.
And then you found 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I did. 50 Shades of Grey. I actually read that in high school, but...
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then I... had been keeping up with the movies, and I went to opening weekend for, like, all of them, except for Breaking Dawn Part 1, because I had another death in the family over Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, vivid memories. I had another death in the family over Thanksgiving. I couldn't go, and on Thanksgiving Day, because I think it came out, or, like, I think it was Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
It had come out, like, the week before or something like that, and I illegally streamed it on my computer, which was the first time...
You knew how to do that?
That I had illegally streamed something.
Wow.
But the movie, Breaking Dawn Part 1, came out when we were in high school. I was, like, a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And...
2010.
Yeah, like, 2010. And I was, like, streaming it illegally, and I remember watching it in my room and being... so disturbed by the birth scene. Like, so disturbed.
Wow.
I was like, oh, gross.
Did it, like, ruin, like, a whole generation of people's, relationship to pregnancy and birth?
I think millennials don't want to have children because they saw what it did to Bella.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what it does to normal, vampire bearing human beings, and, like, that's also terrifying, but maybe, like, it's also because of Breaking Dawn.
Yeah. I think that might be
Which is, like, the opposite effect that Stephenie Meyer probably wanted to have.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
It was very much, like, this pregnancy is propaganda. Really amazing, and she loves being pregnant and having a baby for some reason.
Yeah.
And none of us bought it.
No. Yeah, and then I kind of, like, went away from Twilight for a little while, but not in, like, a really aggressive way. I never went through, like a necessarily, like, a hating Twilight phase. Like, I probably rolled my eyes at it a couple of times, but not super intensely, I don't think. But, I mean, like, we were all, like, byproducts of that, like, time period of, like, Harry Potter being pitted against Twilight for no fucking reason.
No, they're so dissimilar.
They're not the same.
Yeah.
And
we can only have two things.
Yeah. And then started revisiting it in college, really substantially because of, like, a recommendation of a professor.
So both times because of teachers.
Yeah, so both times because of teachers. So, like, I was about to say tip your educators, but, like, that's not
a thing.
Tip your educators. No, be nice to your teachers and read what they tell you.
Tip your educators. Just, like, slide your 5th grade teacher a tenner. I don't think I had, like, an anti-Twilight phase. I definitely... but I think I kind of, like, was really into it for, like, a year, or maybe it was less. And then I kind of felt like, oh, it's not cool to be into Twilight, and, like, I shouldn't be into it anymore. Because I was, like, going into high school. And I think I got Tumblr when I was, like, 15 or something.
Oh, wow.
And I remember, like, just, like, the discourse, like, you know, when you're, like, learning about feminism on Tumblr, and then there's, like, all these, like, really interesting takes about, like, romanticization of abuse in Twilight and stuff like that, which, like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with now, but I think I was exposed to, like, some of that, and I was like, oh, like, what kind... I was, like, just questioning the ideas that Twilight gave me a few years prior, and, like, trying to think about, like, what kind of ideas about relationships did this give me that, like, manifested in my life in some way, or, like, my conception of the world, or, like, I don't know, anything like that, which I think is, like, a very valid thing to think about. But now, like, that after, like, when I was in college and I was like, fuck it, it's, like, fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's where we are now.
Yeah.
Fuck it, it's fun. I don't know, I would like to, like, as we read it again, like, examine that like, idea.
Yeah.
People like to say that they have an unhealthy relationship. I kind of don't really think that they do. I just think that it's dramatic.
Yeah. I would also, like, challenge people to think about, like, relationships that they were in when they were, like, 17 and 18 years old.
Yeah.
And, like, how those relationships might not be healthy adult relationships, but, like, they're kind of what I guess is to be expected when you have, like, 17 and 18-year-olds in relationships. Yeah.
It's something that's hard about generalizing about Twilight is because a lot of the situations they're in is, like, because of supernatural forces. Yeah. And, like, that make very specific... Like, people talk about, like, Edward being controlling of Bella, and, like, some of that is literally because her life is at stake, because there are, like, vampires trying to kill her. So it's, like, not the same thing, but also how much can you, I don't know, project that onto, like, what people might be taking away from the story in general, I guess.
Yeah. I also like to think about, like, the concept that, like, reading something in literature can make you think that in real life, almost. Like, I think that that's something that is applied to Twilight so much more than other texts. Like, like, I'm thinking about classics, but, like, you can critically read books and understand the relationships in them are not what you would want for yourself. Though I understand why, like, people say that about Twilight, because people were saying, like, oh, I want my Edward. And it's like, okay. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, Lolita, Great Gatsby. Yeah. Like,
even if you think about other YA texts at the time that were really big, like The Hunger Games, you didn't really get that same accusation of, like, getting sucked into those relationships, even though there was a huge love triangle in The Hunger Games as well. I don't know if it's because that universe is so obviously, like, dystopian or something, and, like, Twilight mimics the real world in most ways, except for, like, putting a couple different magical creatures in there.
Right.
So maybe that's, I don't, but, like, you wouldn't think that that would be the difference.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe Twilight is, I mean, Twilight definitely is more relationship focused than, like, some other stories.
It is relationship focused. I'm trying to think of, like, other texts that are relationship focused, and, like, I don't know, I feel like the only one that I can think of right now is Pride and Prejudice. And it's like, people say that they're waiting for their Mr. Darcy when I know that's not true. Like, I have a cat named Mr. Darcy, so, like, I have one. Yeah. And, like, he's, like, a moody little bitch, and, like, it's not fun all the time. You know? Like, but, like, I just feel like, but that doesn't mean that, like, Jane Austen was getting raked over the coals about, like, you're promoting unhealthy ideas about relationships.
Right.
Because, like, I don't know.
If anything, maybe she was getting raked over the coals for, like, talking about class in the way that she did.
Yeah, or, like, writing about women.
Yeah, writing about women.
Writing about women.
Yeah, different times.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is it fair to, like, look at every love story and say it has to be a good relationship in order for people to learn something from it? Yeah. Or, like, is there a way that we could, like, frame conversations about Twilight to, like, teach people that, like, not every relationship will be perfect, and, like,
theirs definitely isn't, so.
Theirs isn't. Yeah. And, like, but does it mean that they shouldn't be together? Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, I don't know, like, it's a lot of responsibility. I don't know, and I'm thinking about 50 Shades of Grey now. Like, yeah. There's a difference between, like, what that's doing wrong, I would say, like, which is, like, portraying, like, an actual real-life, like, kink community. Yeah. in a way that is actually factually, like, inaccurate and, like, dangerously, like, playing with ideas of consent versus, like, a, like, the critique in 50 Shades of Grey, I would say, is less about their interpersonal relationship and more about, like, the way that it portrays consent and, like, things like that. Whereas, like, in Twilight, like, the issues in their relationship are more general and, like, you can't point, I guess, to a specific moment and say that's wrong.
There's, like, to reference abusive theory right now, there's this piece by Linda Williams from, I think it's from, like, 1989, that I used a lot when I was doing my undergraduate thesis, which was on pornography, and that what we're talking about now kind of reminds me of that, because a lot of the arguments about pornography is that people are concerned that people are going to watch this and think that it mimics real life, and not be able to understand or critically think about what they're seeing. And Linda Williams writes a piece about how people view pornography that way, and they also view horror movies that way, some kind of, and then also like what are called weepies, like historically, or like just movies that are like meant to make you cry in some way, or like shock your emotions. So like so these are all things that you're supposed to have a physical response to, and I think maybe like a book centered around a relationship like Twilight kind of like inches toward that in a way that like the Hunger Games doesn't, or like Harry Potter doesn't, or something. But like I think that people have like stronger reactions to how they think other people are going to react to things when they are kind of more like debase in culture and like kind of looked down upon, because like it's not seen as intellectual to write about something like a relationship, or write about, or like something that's just about sex or just about emotions, or like something that is kind of more visceral is like kind of looked down upon,
like the idea that you can recognize as a consumer that like this is a bad thing, but like you have this perception of other people that like they are not as educated of a consumer, and that they will think the superficial thing that like
you think other people are dumber than you,
you think you look down on other people as like unable to like critique media in the same way you are, when in reality probably most people, like us included, are probably not as media literate as like everyone like likes to think that they are, and it's way too simplistic, I feel, to just be like, oh, well, we watch stuff and then that teaches us things. And it definitely does, but I don't think it's just like a closed circuit like that, and I don't think it's one way. Like, I don't think that we're just mindlessly receiving information. Like, there's so many other factors. And then, of course, I mean, like, it's definitely important to talk about representation in media, but then, like, you have to zoom out also and, like, look at the larger picture of, like, who's making that media, and, like, how are the images on TV or in books or whatever representing our larger culture that already exists, and like they're surely reinforcing each other sometimes, but I don't know. I just think like sometimes it's helpful to look at, like, I feel like sometimes it's more helpful to learn culturally through bad examples than through good examples, and I think like reality TV is a good example of that. Like, we watch things that we intentionally dislike and like think are absurd or like bad or like immoral, and like that reinforces and like teaches us more about like what we think is morally like right for us, and like what we accept in relationships, and like what we expect from the world, and like maybe that's not a good thing to do, arguably. Maybe that's judgmental and like we shouldn't do that, but like also I think that can be like, I think that that's how some pop culture works. Pop culture is like this thing that we can like look at to like prop ourselves up against, or like, are we communication majors or what? Someone give me an honorary degree in media studies. That was fun. But yeah, that was fun. That was like a fun little thing we did just there. Good talk. Sometimes this podcast is just like, I feel like this podcast is a combination between like a book club meeting and like a feminist theory class. Yeah. We just like bring our texts to the table and like
go through our notes and, like, talk about our favorite parts and then, like, analyze other parts that we didn't like as much.
Yeah.
So.
Should we take a break for our first mini segment?
Let's introduce our mini segment.
Our first segment of the show called Love at First Bite. It's new. So the premise of this mini segment, you'll see once we do this, like, first one as an example. So we came up with the idea of creating Tinder bios for Twilight characters. Each episode, one of us will create a Tinder bio for a Twilight character, read it out loud, and then the other person will have to decide if they should swipe left or right, and I don't know the difference between those two.
I think left is you don't like them, and right is you do like them.
Okay. Yeah, like, get out of here to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lori has made the first one. Are you gonna, like, tell me who it is, or do I guess who it is?
You'll be able to tell from this one, but I could withhold the name just for fun.
Sure.
Okay. So, name redacted.
Okay.
18. I'm making them all 18, unless they're older for sure, because, like, you have to be 18 to be on Tinder, and you have to date them.
Yeah.
Relationship status, it's complicated.
Okay.
Employment, Newton's Olympic Outfitters.
Okay.
The bio is looking for someone to take long walks on the beach.
Oh my god.
Watch rom-coms and cuddle or go to prom.
Oh my god.
And then the pictures that they would have on this profile, the first one would be them with a golden retriever.
Oh my god.
And then the second one would be them on Tyler Crowley's van at La Push Beach. And then the third one would be them with their other friends that go to Forks High School. And I won't tell you, like, what those friends are because it would give away who it is. And then they have a profile song, which is Crash Into Me by Dave Matthews Band.
I thought for sure you were going to say there was going to be a picture of him holding a fish.
No. Yeah, you're right. I thought that would be more appropriate for another person at Forks High School, actually.
I'm sure, like, yeah. So, I'm going to swipe left on Mike Newton.
Yes, it was Mike Newton.
Why does it say it's complicated?
Because it was really complicated between him and Jessica. Because they were, like, on again, off again. Okay. Are they dating? Are they not?
Do you put your relationship status? Does he like write out my relationship status? It's complicated.
I don't know how. I don't have Tinder.
I don't know if you can put that.
I don't know. You can on her.
I think you just put your sexuality on Tinder, or you can. You don't have to.
Oh, okay. Well, if he did, we all know he'd be straight.
Yeah.
We wish he wasn't.
Well, that was great, and a horrible first thing to see when you open up Tinder.
Can you imagine? I'm picturing, like, the pictures are, like, him with a golden retriever, because, like, that's...
Oh, yeah, he definitely has one.
Yeah, like, what he is, and, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the one of, like, him with the van, I feel like he might be standing on the van, or, like, sitting out the side of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the friends, like, I'm not sure exactly where they are. Maybe they were at, like, homecoming or prom or something like that, or, like, Sadie Hawkins, or...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. In the parking lot.
Hanging out by the cars. Yeah. So.
Great.
Wow. Let us know if you would swipe left or right on Mike Newton based on that Tinder profile.
Yeah. We should make them. And then we can put them on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that. I'll draw the fucking stick fingers.
I'm sure there's, like, a template online.
Yeah.
I think there is. And we can, like, put them on the Instagram story.
Oh,
Follow us on Instagram at genderforking.
Yeah.
There's memes. That was a great segment.
Thanks.
I have something for you, too.
Oh.
Actually, let me get my laptop.
Shocked.
You're shocked?
She told me earlier, she was like, I have something to tell you, but I'm going to do it when we're on the air.
First, I need to share with you the first thing that I wanted, the thing that I mentioned earlier today. So, we'll talk about this later. But we have a Patreon, and everyone who becomes a patron of us, of the podcast, can join a Discord server.
Yeah.
And someone in our Discord server, I think it was Veronica, sent a really awesome Goodreads list of books about the Twilight Saga.
Yeah, it was Veronica.
Yeah, and they look amazing, and I think that we should read all of them and talk about all of them on the podcast.
I agree.
But I happened to click on one, and someone left a really good review that shared a lot of information about the book, and I just wanted to share some of that right now. So the book that I was most intrigued about is the one that's called Twilight, True Love, and You, 7 Secret Steps to Finding Your Edward or Jacob.
Oh, excellent. I'm ready.
By Louise Deacon.
Okay.
Also, side note, it says readers also enjoyed, like, people who have also enjoyed this, also enjoyed birth control is sinful in the Christian marriages, and also... This is, like, literally what a book is called. Birth control is sinful in the Christian marriages and also robbing God of priesthood children. And then...
What?
Get ready for this one. Coming out straight, understanding and healing homosexuality.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, the Twi moms.
Mm-hmm.
Get them out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Not you if you're a Twi mom. Unless
you are, in which case, please listen to this podcast and heal.
Yeah. Heal from heterosexuality with us.
So this is, like, pretty transparently a book about finding your Edward or Jacob. And it was written... I don't know when it was written.
It's like, what? Walk into the cafeteria at your school? Have a childhood friend?
This was written by a psychologist.
Where's her degree from?
It's, like, real. So I'm using this person's review because they wrote the chapters of the book.
Oh, great.
And I just want to read you the chapters, basically.
Okay.
And there's, like, a couple...
Is it the 7 steps?
It's way more than 7 chapters.
Oh, okay.
It's...
Like, are we talking, like, 50?
It is, 21 chapters.
Wow. Okay, so...
It really goes places, too.
Okay.
So I'll give you the highlights here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, like, 3 secrets interspersed.
Okay. Is it, like, dress modestly?
No.
Okay.
But maybe. Maybe that would be, like, inside.
Okay.
Okay. So, secret number 1 is the power of Twilight revealed. Okay. Discover why Edward and Jacob appeal to your deepest human needs.
Sex? Is that what they're talking about?
I don't know. So chapter 1
Affection?
is will you find your Edward? Will you find your Jacob? Chapter 2 is why Edward and Jacob have captured your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 3 is Twilight, the ultimate romance.
Yeah, I would agree.
Chapter 4. You're not ready. Edward and Jacob are gods and you need them now.
What? What?
Okay, secret number 2. It gets interesting. Discover the hidden dangers of your romantic imagination. Understand how Twilight has shaped the way you look at men.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Okay, so kind of what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 5. Twilight and your love life. Chapter 6. Twilight has raised the bar for men too high. We're going backwards.
Has it?
Secret number 3. Loving a human. Like, learning how to love a human.
Oh.
Like...
Oh.
Yeah. It says, examine the truth about your feelings for Edward and Jacob and find out why only a human can fulfill your needs as a woman.
I don't like that phrasing.
No, me either. Chapter 7. You need a real man in your life, not a god in human form. Chapter 8. This is gonna be your favorite. Wonderful, wonderful men.
Oh my god. I need to read this.
Secret number 4 is knowing yourself, explore Bella's character and needs in a relationship, and discover how to learn more about your own character and needs. That's, like, reflective.
I like that.
I feel like that was my experience as a 13-year-old.
I feel like I would do a panel discussion on that
at,
like, an academic conference.
Yeah. I like chapter 9. That's how well do you know yourself.
Uh-huh.
Chapter 10 is Bella's self-awareness. That's also nice. Mm-hmm. Chapter 11, insights from your relationship history. We're, like, sneaking some, like, self-awareness in here.
Uh-huh.
Chapter 12, how to be more self-aware.
Uh-huh.
Bella, Edward's, and Jacob's personalities. Secret number 5, how to get a deep insight into your boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. Examine how Bella saw Edward and how you can uncover the truth about your boyfriend's personality. Uncover the truth about your boyfriend's personality.
I would love to. I
gotta read it so that I
want to
know.
read it and then we can work on uncovering the truth about our boyfriend's personalities.
Chapter 13, why the truth about a man is hard to see.
Wow.
14,
because they're manipulative.
Yeah. 14, how to be a good judge of men. 15, how to learn more about your boyfriend. Secret 6, how to know if your relationship really works. Learn how Bella and Edward worked as a couple and the ways you can develop insight into how your relationship works. Great.
Okay.
Chapter 16, are you suited to each other? Did I secretly write this book?
Maybe.
17. What your arguments say about your relationship. Bella's fights with Edward. Some potential there. 18. Do you love him as he is? Secret 7. How to predict your future with your boyfriend. Discover how to predict your future together.
Okay.
19. Will he love you in the way that you need? 20. Is he your Edward? Is he your Jacob? And 21. Why your relationship decisions and Twilight are important. This book will deepen your understanding of Twilight.
I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I am fully, like, sold on whatever self-help this is.
I think I need it.
Yeah.
That's thrilling.
And let's buy Coming Out Straight at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Louise Deacon, clinical psychologist and university tutor with 20 years experience.
I'd love to meet her.
She's English.
What are they doing over there?
Nothing. I was just over there.
Nothing.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I really liked the declaration that Edward and Jacob are gods.
I like that. I do like wonderful, wonderful men.
Yeah.
I like that they think that it's gonna help strengthen... Like, I feel like it takes you on a journey from where, like, you don't have a partner and you're looking at your relationship history to, like, they're so confident that now by the time you end up reading this part of the book, you have a boyfriend and you need to learn about him.
Be in a relationship.
And then you'll predict your future. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah. I really like the assumption that Edward and Jacob are anything other than stupid-ass teenage boys.
Yeah, right. Bold.
Yeah, real bold there.
I wonder if she wrote a self-help book that wouldn't sell about relationships.
Oh, and then she reframed
profited off the Twilight phenomenon.
Maybe.
By trying to insert, like, Edward and Jacob into it. Or if she, like, was a Twilight fan that, like, started off with the intention to write this book.
So, a couple other things that we were gonna talk about before we end this episode. We're not 100% sure what we're gonna do next, but we'll, like, slowly, you know, be working through Twilight.
Yeah.
Over the next several months, honestly. But you can stay updated with us on Instagram at genderforking. You should probably follow that because we made it after the last season, so I feel like more people should follow it.
Yeah.
I post exclusive memes on there.
Yes.
Sometimes they are astrology and Twilight related.
They're really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I worked really hard on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an amateur astrologer. Most importantly, we have a Patreon now.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. Our Patreon group is called the Forks Feminist Book Club. And if you join, there's, like, lots of different fun things that we can go into, but that money helps us keep our podcast on the internet because that costs money to do so. We've been paying fees like that for a year now because the last season first aired August 27th, 2018, so it's been almost a full year.
Almost our first year anniversary.
Yeah. So thrilling. Yeah. So celebrate by becoming a patron. It helps us, like, fund merch projects. It will, like, help us maybe eventually even get, like, nicer recording equipment because right now we're borrowing stuff. Just, like, you know, normal podcast stuff that we want to do, and, like, our little Twilight passion projects.
Yeah. We have a lot of patrons already that
they're great. I love them all individually so much. I love them.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I love our Discord. Our Discord is really fun.
Yes. So if you join at all, like, you can join for $1 a month. It's a monthly thing. That's, like, the lowest tier, $1. And if you do that, you get access to the Discord, which has all the other patrons and us in it. And we're always chatting about different Twilight things and sending memes.
Yeah.
And then, but no matter what tier you join, you get to join that Discord. I think, like, that's my favorite part, personally. Yeah. But if you join at $2, you get access to a monthly newsletter about the podcast from us and, like, about us, and, like, we give, like, recommendations for, like, other things we're enjoying and, like, talk about Twilight and what we're doing.
What's going on. Yeah,
updates. And you also get a monthly curated playlist inspired by the Twilight series.
That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that's really fun. There's been 2 so far, so if you join now, you get, like...
the backlog.
Yeah, the backlog of all the things that's already out. So you'll get 2 playlists and, like, 2 newsletters. So far, the playlists are, like, based on the vibe of the, like, the soundtracks that exist, but, like, I also really want to do, like, Alice's party mix and, like, Edward and Bella's birth mix.
Yeah, oh my god. Renesmee's birthing song.
Yeah, like,
oh my god.
Forks,
it would be
High School
Enya.
Prom. Enya, oh my fucking god.
Did you know...
The birth they never had.
Somebody that we went to college with
Yeah, I can just cut it out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was whispering it, but she's just gonna cut it out. I was, like, once, like, minding my own business in my dorm, like, literally, like, falling asleep, and, they climbed up the ladder to my bunk bed, and, like, I was like, hello? And they were like, I wanted to play you this lullaby. It's the song that was playing when my mom gave birth to me.
Oh my god, what?
And then played an Enya song. And I, like, sat there, like they were standing on my ladder to my, like, bunk bed, or, like, my like, high lofted bed, during, like, the whole song, and, like, Enya songs are, like, 6 minutes long, and we were just, like, silently, like, I was laying down in bed in my pajamas, glasses off, like, dead to the world, and, they were just standing on that ladder, playing that song, and I just feel like that's, like, really something that, like...
Renesmee would do that.
Yeah, Renesmee would do.
She would just be so unhinged that, like, she would, like, go to college and do that to someone.
Yeah, and then I just had to, like, sit there and, like, think about birth while, like, Enya was playing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can recreate that situation for you if you want, if you join the Patreon.
If you join our Patreon at $50 a month, I will come to your house if you pay for my airfare and play an Enya song for you.
In your bed.
In your bed.
Yeah. But if you don't want to do that...
Is that sex work?
Is that sex work? Yeah, so $1 a month, is the Residents of Forks tier. $2 a month is the Forks High School GSA, Gay Straight Alliance. Mm-hmm. What up? That's our most popular tier.
Yeah.
You can join at any, like, there's, like, different levels, but you can put in, like, whatever amount of money suits you. There's a $5 tier, that's the Golden Onions. Yep. I just changed that one today, actually. So if you join that tier, you will get early access to podcast episodes when they come out.
Yep.
So I don't really know how early that's going to be yet, but you will find out.
Yep.
Plus all the other stuff that, like, I already mentioned. And then if you join at $10 a month, is what a new one that I added today. That's the Intramural Vampire Baseball Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll get all that stuff that I already mentioned, plus a, like, bonus features package. So, like, it'll be different, like, depending on what we have.
Sometimes we have bloopers.
But, yeah. It'll maybe, like, potentially unedited or, like, extended versions of podcast episodes.
Sometimes we have, like, little bits that just, like, don't make it in. So,
like, photos. We should take some photos while we're doing this.
yeah. Photos of our behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna take one, like, right now. There's a treadmill in the background. And, like, kind of whatever comes up.
Yeah, really. Like, any other, like, little mini segments or whatever.
Yeah, or maybe we'll, like, make little extra things, I don't know, to incentivize it.
Or maybe, like, unedited, like, when I just, like, we edited out the name of that person that we went to college with.
Yeah, we'll leave it in.
We'll keep it in and put them on blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen for you. We care about things only to an extent, unless you're willing to pay for them, in which we don't care at all.
Ethics go out the window.
Oh, yeah. And then there's one more tier for $13 a month. That's Bella's College Fund, and you get all the things that I just mentioned, plus a producer credit in the description of our episodes and, like, on, like, our, like, wherever our information is, basically. Yep. And we have 2 of those right now. Their names are Deepra and Kyra.
Wow.
Which is so awesome. I'm, like, thrilled that anyone wants to, like, support the podcast. That's
awesome.
Actually,
I didn't know that. I haven't really been, like, deep diving into, like, looking who the Patreons, people are, because I just, like, notice them all from Discord.
Right.
And, like, that could be anyone at any level.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. That's really awesome.
Yeah. We have 2 producers. So if you want a producer credit, Bella's College Fund. Yeah, so that's the Patreon. It's super fun. Yeah. It really helps us out with, like, things that we want to do. Because it helps us fund merch projects, like our first merch project, which has been out for, like, a month now. We have stickers. Yeah. They're, like, really, really cool and cute. If you want one, you can go to bowlingshirebellas.tumblr.com/merch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
I just got mine. I put it on my passion planner. Mm-hmm. Product placement. I got it for free. I got the sticker and the planner for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's really, really cute. It's, like, a really nice quality vinyl sticker.
Yeah, they're from Sticker Mule.
And, like, I love it. It's, like, my fun new, like, color palette. Light green and
it's,
green.
Yeah, it's, like, light green, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 3x3 circles. They look similar to, like, our profile picture if you follow us on social media.
Yeah.
It's, like, a similar, like, wreath, and they say, that's all forks, which is what we say at the end of the episode, so we shouldn't forget to say it during this episode.
You're right.
And they say Gender Forking and Twilight Saga podcast. They're really, like, simple and, like, cute. And they are $2.50 if you're inside the US and $3.15 if you're outside the US, because it costs more for me to ship that to you.
Yeah.
It's just a shipping cost thing. But yeah, bowlingstripbellas.tumblr.com/merch. Or you can just DM us and we'll send you that information. Yeah, on whatever, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, or email us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's merch.
Cool. Is there anything else we have to talk about?
I don't know. Let me see. No.
Cool. So a fun thing that is from the end of another podcast that I listen to and really like. Actually, like, I'm acting like this is a recurring thing, but I think they literally only did it once, but, like, at the end, they're like, yeah, do you have anything to plug? And, like, someone was like, I'd like to plug my favorite cousin. And they, like, talked about their favorite cousin for half a second, and, like, I feel like we could do that with, like, any number of topics.
Yeah.
Should we plug our favorite cousins?
Our favorite cousins?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I have two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pick one.
So I have to pick one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I know who you're gonna pick.
Wait, well, I have two first cousins. I could pick, like, an obscure, like, other cousin.
You could, but I know who you'd pick from your first two.
Yeah. I'll pick I have two younger cousins. I'm gonna say that my favorite cousin is Abby. 'Cause she's, like, a really good swimmer and, like, likes to read. And she's almost 15, which is wild, and she just went to England, where I was for a year, but I moved home before I could, like, see her over there, which would have been really cool. And she went to the Harry Potter studios, and I, like, gave her advice on, like, how to get into the front so that, like, when you get to the exhibit, and they, like, open the doors to the Great Hall, she'd be, like, right in the front.
Wow.
So I can't wait to see her and, like, ask her about that.
That's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll plug my favorite cousin. My favorite cousin of the week, because it changes weekly. Well, actually,
you have a rotation.
I have a rotation going, but my favorite, I think I have a concept for cousins that's my favorite, and it's that my cousins Rachel and Rebecca have the same names as Jacob's sisters.
That's how you remember it so easily.
Yeah, it is how I remember it so easily. But my favorite cousin of the week is Rachel, because she was really kind and let me have some of her cotton candy ice cream the other day.
That is really nice of her.
Yeah.
Is that the one who makes the slime?
Yeah, Rachel also makes slime. You should check out her YouTube channel. It's called simply.slime ASMR.
It's an ASMR slime channel? I thought it was just like her making. That's amazing.
There's a video on here called Rebuilding My Slime Empire. Story time. So definitely go check out my cousin Rachel's videos.
She's a child.
Really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, she's a kid. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, that was great. Just talking about our cousins for a bit. Bella doesn't have any cousins.
They don't really talk about her extended family at all. They just talk about how, like, her grandparents are not around, and, like, her, like her Nana is in the beginning of...
Yeah, presumably Renee and Charlie don't have siblings.
Right.
So, oh my god, her life is so lonely.
It's lonely. It's sad. It's like, there's no family reunion.
Oh my god.
She's an only child.
Well, we're gonna spend some time with Bella.
Yeah, we are. Here we go.
Our girl. Here we go. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We're glad to be back.
For now.
And then on hiatus again after this.
Yep. That's why you're gonna follow us on Instagram, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well,
bye.
That's all, forks.
Thanks, you didn't forget.
Thank you for listening to Gender Forking. All of Season 1 is now streaming.
To stay updated about the podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at genderforking.
For more Twilight content from us, you can follow our blog at bowlingshirtbellas.tumblr.com. For other inquiries, email us at bowlingshirtbellas@gmail.com.
If you're interested in supporting the production and maintenance of this podcast, head to patreon.com/genderforking. The music you are hearing is from O Lucifer.